Today we're going back to the basics and I'm showing you how to use an Instant Pot. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Kristen and on Mondays I share an Instant Pot recipe with you. So whether you are brand new at the Instant Pot or you've been using it for a while, it's always fun to have recipes that you can actually use your Instant Pot for. So I'm gonna get down to the basics, talking about how to use the Instant Pot, how to use the Luxe, and how to use the Duo. And then down to it, how to just make the Instant Pot work. So I could explain to you with my words how to make it work, but I've decided it's a whole lot easier to show you just how to do it while cooking something. So I'm going to be cooking some vegetables today and just go very slowly, step by step. This is what you need to do. So hopefully you'll be able to understand a little bit better. So I have two Instant Pots here. This one is the 7-in-1 Duo. You can see that it has a pressure cook button. Now don't be fooled by this. This is actually just a magnet. Let me show you real quick. It's just a magnet, but I thought it was fun to decorate one of my Instant Pots so it's a little easier to tell them apart. This one is the 6-in-1 Luxe. You can see that I have the manual button. So this one is the older version, this one is the newer version. So I'm gonna be mostly working on the Duo because I'm guessing the majority of you got the Duo for Prime Day or Black Friday. This is their top seller. All right, so this is what the top of your Instant Pot looks like. Now when cooking anything, you wanna make sure that your lid is on nice and snug. I'm gonna open this up real quick. Inside you have a sealing ring. You wanna make sure that this is all the way around that little metal bar. If it's not, if it's pulled up or not on, see how that's like that? It won't seal and it won't actually pressurize. So I always check my seal. Put that on real quick. Check your seal, make sure that it's on nice and snug. So then it will cook perfectly. Oh, you can see I missed a spot. There we go. We are nice and snug on the ring. Okay, so our sealing ring, good to go. The other important thing is to make sure that your inner pot is in your Instant Pot. If it's not in there and you just dump food in, which bless my mother-in-law's heart, she did that to one of my Instant Pots, it was not a good thing. So just make sure that this pot is in your Instant Pot. You can put your food directly into this pot, or you can use other things such as like a steamer basket, but we're gonna focus just cooking things in this pot today. So now you can cook a lot of things in your Instant Pot. Today I'm just gonna be using some frozen vegetables because they're so quick and easy. This is just a giant bag from Costco. On your silver pot, it will tell you the max line. So it says, if you can read this, it says the max is 2/3 full. So this is the max line. You don't want to fill anything up past that max line. Now, if you do fill it above the max line, 1, it will take a whole lot longer to cook. 2, it might not even pressurize. And 3, it might not cook all the way through. So it's important to make sure you don't go past that fill line. The nice thing about the Instant Pot is that I could put a cup of vegetables or 6 cups of vegetables and it will still cook the same amount of time. That's how it is with almost everything. With chicken breast, with vegetables, with soup, almost with everything. The only difference would be like a really thick roast. The thicker it is, the longer you'll have to cook it. Now because I'm gonna make these vegetables for my family for dinner, we're just gonna load up the pot. Now one thing that every Instant Pot needs is water. If you don't have water or some type of liquid, your Instant Pot is not gonna pressurize. So I usually use a cup to a half a cup of liquid and usually you're good to go. Now it's time to put the lid on. When your lid is on, this kind of has a little lip, so you want to turn it over so it's locked. And did you hear that? That means you are good to go. Now, if for some reason your Instant Pot is not turning on, you wanna make sure that you check this plug. Plug right here, make sure it's in all the way, and then plug right here, make sure it's in all the way. Those are some of my most asked questions is how come my Instant Pot won't turn on? It's because you need to do your plugs. Now, after you put the lid on, you wanna make sure this little knob is turned to sealing. So you want to seal your Instant Pot. If it's on venting, guess what? This is gonna vent the whole entire time and you won't pressurize. So you wanna make sure this little knob is turned to sealing. Now the Luxe is a little bit different. The sealing position is down here. The ventings are on the side, so they can turn side to side, but the sealing is straight down. Now the Luxe, its little pin looks a little bit different. So if you think you're missing a pin, you're not. That's what it looks like. The Duo's pin does not have a hole in it, and so, yep, that's what it looks like. If you have one of those, you're good. Now, there are a lot of functions on the Instant Pot. Don't let this intimidate you. Now, on my channel, I mostly use the manual button if you have a Luxe Instant Pot, or the pressure cook button if you have the Duo. That way, it just makes things a whole lot easier for me when I have 50 different kinds of Instant Pots and people using them. Just using the manual or pressure cook button works awesome. All my recipes, I use that button, but if you want to use like the soup button or the meat button, go ahead. You're gonna use the same time that I tell you to use. You can just push a fancy button. So to cook these vegetables, I'm gonna be pushing the pressure cook button. There we go. And then this timer will show whatever you ended your time at. But I don't wanna cook them for 20 minutes because there'll be nothing left of them. So I'm gonna put it all the way down to 1 minute. Now usually vegetables, they will be perfectly steamed. All right, so after you set the timer, it's gonna say on. Guess what? That means you are good to go. You can go ahead and walk away from your Instant Pot. Most people that use the Instant Pot are terrified it's gonna explode. It's not. You're safe, you're good to go. I've used it probably 500 times and it hasn't yet to explode on me. Now it says on while it is pressurizing. It takes anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes to pressurize, depending if you have frozen food, if you have meat, if you have other things. So just be patient. It takes a little bit of time to pressurize. Now while we're waiting for it to pressurize, we're gonna talk a little bit about the saute button. The saute button is your friend because it's like having a skillet on top of a stovetop. So you can saute all kinds of things in your Instant Pot. You can brown your meat, you can cook your onions, you can do all kinds of stuff with your saute button. Now also while it's on the on position, it's gonna say keep warm. There is nothing wrong with it saying keep warm. Don't be confused, don't be scared, just don't touch anything. It will pressurize for you. Now if you have a Luxe, you're gonna push the manual button. It does that same little jingle. Then you're gonna just go down to 1 minute. All right, it's gonna do the same thing. It's gonna say on, but your keep warm button does not stay on. So don't be fooled by that. That's one of the differences, is your keep warm doesn't stay on and you have a manual button. Okay, when your Instant Pot is done, it will show a little L and it will show 000. And as you can see, it starts to count up. So however minutes this is, or hours, that's how many minutes it's been done cooking. Now when it's done, you have a few options. We're gonna go back to our little knob. So right now we're on sealing. Ooh. Now we can flip it over to venting. That's called a quick release. Or we can just leave it like it is and it will release on its own. So if you want your food faster, I suggest doing whoop, 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 a quick release. You wanna be careful because you don't wanna get in the way of the steam because it is hot. So you can use a little spoon to turn it, or a hot pad, or you can just do it with your finger, just be careful. So that little pin was up and it just fell down. So that means you know when that pin is down, you can open up your Instant Pot. Now also be careful as you open this up, the steam is still gonna be coming out, so it's gonna be hot. There we go, and all your vegetables are cooked. Now if you have the Duo, you have those awesome little handles that you can actually take your lid and put it right in those handles. So your lid can stay like that. For filming purposes, I don't ever do this, but that's what they're for. Sorry, those that have the Luxe, you don't have that. The vegetables are still in there. It's still gonna continue to count up. It's also going to still say keep warm. The keep warm button is off when it's cooking, but as soon as it's done cooking, the keep warm button turns on. So it's gonna stay on keep warm for up to 10 hours. But right now, we're just to keep warm. If dinner's almost ready, you can just leave it in here and keep it on keep warm if you want it warm. Now the other button, one of the only other buttons I use on this thing is the yogurt button. And up in the corner up there, I'll show you how I make yogurt. You only use 3 ingredients. It is so easy and you make a ton of yogurt. Now with the Luxe, you don't have a yogurt button, so you can't make yogurt in the Luxe. I'm sorry about that. Now usually I use a steamer basket when I cook my vegetables because I can just pull it out. But because I just use the pot, I'll just use some hot pads, take out the pot, and drain the liquid. All right, you guys, there you have it. The basics of the Instant Pot. Now, if you have any questions, go ahead and shoot them down in the comments and I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. So if you need any more food ideas, you can check out some of my awesome playlists, like the top things you can make in your Instant Pot, or just my favorite chicken recipes in the Instant Pot. Chicken is the easiest meal to make and one of my favorites. All right, so if you want more Instant Pot recipes, make sure you subscribe so you won't miss any when I post every Monday. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you on Monday. Bye.